Well, g'day and welcome back, viewers. I hope you're all going well and everything's okay. Sorry it's been so long since I've put in a video, but I've been caught up with other things and haven't been able to get one done. I do apologise for that. Okay, we've finally worked out the internals for the pod and how we want to fit it out and everything. So I'll start off here at the front as you walk in. That box in front of you there is the kitchen sink, and that's where it's going to be going, in between the stove and this front bulkhead. Where you see the curtains open, that's where we're going to have the windows visible, and where all the curtains are closed, they're going to just be the solid walls, insulated and all that sort of stuff. So have a small corner cupboard there that'll run up to the bench height. Actually it may possibly run right up and then join up with the overhead lockers that will run across the top, and that's the way we're going to set that up. So the cupboard will only consist of space for the pots and pans and knives and forks, all that sort of stuff. And on the passenger side, where we've got that table set up and the swivel chair, I'm going to build in a two-seat dinette and table, just for the two of us, because it's only the two of us that are going to be living in the truck, and we don't need to make it so you can have 4 people or 6 people. We don't know that many people, so it's not really necessary. What we will do with the seats on the settee, they'll be made big enough to take 2 of the 300 amp hour AGM batteries that we've got. So there'll be 2 batteries per seat, and that will give us a total of 1,200 amp hours in reserve to run the pod. So that's what we've got there. Then coming back along, the stove and griller, it's a 4-burner domestic variety. We both like cooking, so we think that will work out better than going to the small RV units. We've got the room to put this large domestic unit in, so that's what we're going to fit. The box above it there, that's it's a retractable exhaust fan with the filters and lights and everything in it, and that'll get mounted in the overhead lockers. Then next to that there'll be a small cupboard which will just be drawers for cooking utensils, knives, forks, and probably a pot drawer down the bottom. Plus it'll give you a little bit of counter space next to the stove. The refrigerator is a Waco made by Dometic, and it is 12 volt, 24 volt and 240 volt AC. It's a fantastic unit. It's 220 litres. It's the largest unit that Waco make for an RV. A good freezer size with the single rack, a couple of compartments in the door, and that's got plenty of freezer space for our requirements. And listen to that lock, doesn't that sound really good? In the refrigerator department, plenty of shelves and baskets down the bottom, couple of ice trays and all that sort of stuff, and a light. The door has got plenty of pockets in it for bottles and condiments and everything else that need to be kept in the fridge, and eggs, etc. And listen to this lock. Love the sound of this lock. Oh, excellent. Love it. Love it. Yeah, so that's it on the front side, and we'll have overhead lockers across the top of the dinette, and yeah, it'll have plenty of room for the two seats and the table. It'll probably be about 1.5 people wide, the seats in reality, but they'll have plenty of room and they'll be nice and comfy, and as I say, it'll give us space for those big batteries. The the washing machine and dryer, obviously, as you can see, again, domestic variety. The front load washing machine is 7.5 kilo capacity, and same with the dryer, I think. Well, it's I don't have a checkers. No, I can't see what it says. I'm pretty sure it's a 7 kilo job anyway. But these will be built into a cupboard, so we'll have the cupboard wall on this side with the door at the front, and then where the washer and dryer finish and the fridge, we're going to have a bulkhead right across, so it'll be a separate compartment. With the dryer, most dryers exhaust out the rear, which is a problem in a motorhome, but this one we particularly picked it because the front comes off and you can fit on an exhaust hose to that, and then the hose will have it come down and exhaust through a port in the floor, and then when you're not using the dryer, obviously we'll pick the disconnect the hose, shut the port, and store the hose away. But yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen a dryer with a front exiting exhaust. And as I say, there'll be the wall coming across between the two, and that'll divide the dining room, kitchen or galley from the back of the pod. The other main change that we've made is we've ditched the idea of having the double bed mounted at the rear of the pod, because we were going to put the water tanks and everything under the double bed. That's going to put somewhere in the vicinity of 600 kilos beyond the rear axle, and that's not acceptable. So what we've come up with is 2 single berths on either side. Having them like that, they're easier to make than a double jammed up against the wall, which you've got no room to make. Plus, as you get older, it makes it easier for making the beds and everything else. I've only thrown this 1950s fold up bed in here just to see how it goes for sizing and everything, and the bunks will be higher than what's depicted here, so that it'll give extra storage room above the water tanks, because we're going to fit the water tanks underneath the two singles, and that will place the weight right over the rear axle. That black tank that you can see there is 250 litres, which is, as I say, over the rear axles. On this side, under this single bunk, we will have 300 litres of fresh water, giving us a total of 550 litres of fresh water. The ideal thing that I came across on eBay, because I'm a bit of an eBay nut, love buying stuff off eBay, these little tanks. They hold 49 litres. They're very easy to place into odd areas and places that are pretty useless at times in a motorhome or an RV. And I've bought 6 of them, giving us 300 litres. Well, actually it's 294. No. Yeah, 294. And the other advantage of having those small tanks, I do understand that it's more plumbing work, but we'll be able to isolate each tank. So if one of them springs a leak, we're only going to lose 49 litres, not 250. That's the main reason I went that way, because bouncing around and corrugations and everything else, anything could go wrong. So it's best to be safe than sorry, because running out of water out in the nulla is no joke. Above the single bunks, we're going to have obviously the overhead lockers again, but I'm going to bring the overhead lockers out further than I will in the galley area, simply because you don't need to get as close to the walls as you do over the kitchen cupboards and everything else. So they won't be much bigger, but they will be larger, and that will increase the storage capacity for clothes and blankets or whatever. Plus, as I say, the single berths being higher than what's depicted here at the moment, we'll be able to store gear across the top of the water tanks. As I say, like blankets and sheets and towels and all that sort of stuff, or clothes that you don't need for that season. There's the windows over or beside each bunk, so when you wake up in the morning you can slide that curtain back a little bit and have a perv out the window, check out what's happening in the world before you get up, and then away you go. Now, the second main change that we've come up with is this rear bulkhead where the existing toilet is. We're going to leave that bulkhead there. Where the door and wall recess backwards, we're going to straighten that up so that it's a straight bulkhead, and the door will be in the centre, flat on or straight on to the walkway. One reason was I didn't personally want to wreck the toilet or the head, because it's in such really good unused condition, shall we say. So as the door will straighten up, this part of the bulkhead will get removed, and inside the bulkhead up to that cupboard you see there, we'll cut that bulkhead back to there. Now, believe it or not, I know it doesn't, the room doesn't look like it in the toilet, but we can fit in a 900 by 900 shower. At the moment we've got a corner freestanding shower unit that we have, and it's sort of like a quarter circle that sits in the corner. It's a small bath on the bottom, then you've got the glass panels and the roof, etc. So we're going to actually fit that one in, because we can fit it in through the side door. It comes in sections, or like demountable sections, and we're going to put that one in, and it'll look really great. So that's what we're going to do, and that will give us basically an ensuite to the master bedroom. Sounds like we're doing sticks and bricks, but stuff sticks and bricks. We're going to hang on to the truck's air conditioning system and build our own custom ducts for that, because it works extremely well, and it does need a little bit of a top up on the gas, which I'll have done, but it's just crazy to go ripping something like that out. We will still place the domestic or RV style air conditioner in between the light and the hatch. It's a reverse cycle unit, so we can get heat or cold out of it, and we've tested it out, and it's an extremely good unit, and it's just the right size for cooling or heating this size compartment. So that's excellent. We don't need to fit two of them or anything like that. So I hope you like the changes that we've made to the interior layout. We think it'll turn out pretty good. The reason that I've put all of the components on board is it's easier for me to work out how I want to lay it out, in preference to drawing it, because even though you can draw it and you can imagine it and it feels like a good idea, when it actually comes to building it and installing it and everything else, it never seems to work out exactly the way that you want it. I've had that happen when I've been doing robotic installations and design work, and with this I've just found that by fitting all of our bits and pieces on board, it's much easier to get an appreciation of the size and room that each piece takes up, and then set out your layout better. That's basically why we've gone from a double bed to two single beds. Besides getting old and grumpy and not wanting to make the bed properly, that's the reason that we've done it. Now that's about all I can all I can talk to you about. I won't be diving into the fit out in the pod straight away. Everything's bolted down and we can run on the road with everything as it is, except for the dryer, which I'll drop down on the deck. That I've got to get back into the front cab and finish the electrics, do all the wiring for the additional auxiliary gauges, driving lights, radios, the scanners and all that sort of stuff. That will come in another video, because that cab is going to be a Starship Enterprise, I can tell you that. So give us a thumbs up if you think the video warrants it. If you've got any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. If you've got any comments, comment. Good, bad, or otherwise. It doesn't really matter. Last thing is this Waco fridge freezer. It's a 40-litre machine. We're going to keep that and place it behind the passenger seat, and we're going to just use that for beer and soft drink, and that will take those items out of the refrigerator and free that up for other bits and pieces. So that will increase our refrigeration capacity from 220 up to 260 litres. Insofar as running the washing machine when we're camped out in the Nulla or something, if you remember in one of the earlier videos, I explained that there was that large aluminium freshwater tank that we were just going to clean out, and that's all have enough capacity to do a few loads of washing while we're camped out somewhere. So that will take the burden off the drinking water, because we're not going to use that tank for drinking, that's for sure. But as I say, I've got to do the cab first. I'm halfway through building the overhead roof rack with the driving lights and storage bin, jerry cans and all that sort of stuff, aerials. So I've got a lot on the go, tons of things planned, and I'll keep you informed. I'll try and put up a video once a week and do a progress report to you all. But that's about it. I'll stop boring you, rambling on, because otherwise I'll just get stuck here and keep going on and on and on and on and on, and you won't want to watch the videos anymore. So no problem. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone that's subscribed. It gives me confidence and initiative to keep putting up more videos, which is good. And that's about it. So all of you, take it easy, enjoy yourself, love life, and I'll talk to you in our next video. Bye for now.